Don't have a medical update yet, other than it's upper body, and he's gonna get reevaluated here the next day, tonight and tomorrow. Probably expected to miss a little bit of time at camp, at main camp. That's where it's at right now. We'll have more details in the next couple days.
What's the biggest worry when you go into these kinds of games? You guys are just really competitive and things are just gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a contact sport. I mean, it's you hate seeing it to any player, whether it's your first round draft pick or an invite, because it's a great opportunity to be at rookie camp and wear an NHL jersey and all that. And obviously with Matthew, there's NHL training camp and bigger things ahead. So you definitely hate it there, but it's never a good feeling as a coach when you see a player leave the ice like that.
What led to the decision to have Kulik, Roseanne, Kisakov, and Norchester out tonight?
Kisakov, Neuchev just had a little nagging injuries, and we just felt collectively that it didn't make sense to try to push through anything right now with NHL camp here to come. And then, there's a lot of hockey left. With Kulik and Roseanne, obviously they did what they did last year, a full year of pro hockey, great playoff run. And then they also did what they did the first two games, and just not only how good they played, but how they did it, how competitive they were, that they played the right way. They didn't try to just play on skill. They played on habits and work ethic and competitiveness, and the combination of all of that, and wanting to give guys a look too, wanting to give other forwards a second game, wanting to get Shirk in there. You invite a guy like that to camp. He deserves the opportunity to be in the lineup. As much as you want to win, there's bigger things that you're looking at when you're making decisions like this, and for what's ahead as well.
Some nice saves tonight. He looked sharper than Monday.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
I thought Ratzlaff was really good. It's funny, he was sharper tonight. His puck play was sharper the other day. That was the only thing that was a little off today, was maybe the D goalie communication, because we turned too many over there. But I thought he was really good. Both goals were very good goals. He made our opponent earn their offense. He made a few big saves to give us a chance to be in the game. I thought he showed very well all week. I thought he was solid the other game. I thought he was really good today.
With Novikov, we've talked about the offense he created. There's probably some moments he looked like a young defenseman. But 3 games seeing him close. Just what are your takeaways from the whole training?
Yeah, Novikov, first of all, he's very competitive. So, there is some young sloppiness at times with young defensemen, and that's part of it. But when it was time, when the puck was in between him and another man, it was on. Like you could see that he's a young man with a real high compete level, which is awesome. I like that. There's a language barrier. Pacer and I grabbed him on a couple things today, and you could see him trying to do it already. With just a little video, with trying to use Google Translate to communicate. And you could see him applying some of the things throughout this little tournament that we were talking to him about, which is a great sign. And then he's got really good length. He's got defensive length, but he's got offensive length. I mean, those shifts in the third period when he's circling around in the offensive zone, those are not easy things to do at his age for a defenseman. So I thought he showed very well.
What was your impression of Kisakov from what you saw of him, over the past week or so? Given he had a couple of months to get in the gym and get prepared for this season.
Thought Kisakov looked stronger. Made way more plays than he made this time last year. He wasn't. The offense didn't finish for him or his teammates or his line mates when he was around it, but both games he was involved in multiple what we call A scoring chances, not just little side angle shots like 2-on-1s, breakaways, backdoor one-timers, things of that nature. With how talented he is, if he keeps working and keeps getting those chances, pucks are going to go in the net because he's a really creative offensive player. So I thought it was a good start.
Message to them in between first and second. It seemed like a different team in the second period as far as getting pucks from then, everything from that. He started getting more chances.
Yeah, I thought we were pretty darn good in the second, third period. We didn't get rewarded. Some of that credit to them. I thought they blocked a lot of shots, and then some credit to Bloomquist. He's a really good goalie, and he played very good today. But the first, so you have a first shift where your top player gets injured, he's laying behind the net as a puck goes in. That's a hard way to start the game, right? And then I thought their level of physicality had us on our heels a little bit in the first 7-8 minutes. I thought the last half of the first got a little better, but we talked about we got to have physical pushback. And then we talked about, like, with the 5 forwards that were out, we need to be an ozone team. It doesn't mean we're not skilled, but everybody's skilled differently. With those 5 guys in, you can do a lot of things on the line rush. With those 5 guys out, we probably need to play behind them and forecheck more and get in the offensive zone and have more of a shooting mentality. And I thought we did a really good job of that, and we had a lot of pucks in the blue paint that we either couldn't quite come up with or again, Bloomquist made really good saves on.
What did you learn last year about communicating with Kissakoff and take this year now you're going to have Jeff and Elkoff?
Yeah, with Kissakoff and Kulik too at the beginning, his English was better, but still, one is that you have to have a lot of individual time for them, because sometimes the 15-minute team meeting, it's just too much information. It's racing past them because they're seeing things that maybe they've never been taught before on top of trying to understand what we're saying, right? So a lot of individual video, a lot of drawings on the video so they can have the visual of what it's supposed to look like, a lot of Google Translate, and also moments of, like, there was a moment with Kulik last year where I thought he was struggling to understand why I was being so demanding of him and so hard on him. And I typed out like a 2-page letter, for lack of a better term, and translated into Czech, because it was a month in and he's young, and it just felt like I didn't want him to lose in translation why I was being so hard on him and demanding of him, and what the goal was, so we could be on the same page, and also to make sure they know we care about them, that their growth as a person and a hockey player is what we really care about and what we're invested in. So those are things that we had to do a lot of last year with those 2, and we're certainly going to need to do a lot of it with the 3 Russians this year. But Kisa, I think we earned a lot of trust with Kisa last year, through the year, through the adversity, how we handled him, how we communicated with him, letting him go home a little early so he could see family that he hadn't seen in a long time. And that pays dividends. And then with Novikov and Neuchev, you can see they both have a playful, fun personality. You don't understand what they're saying, but you see them laughing a lot and smiling with support staff and equipment managers and their teammates and each other, and that's great, because that means they're fun, good young kids that are excited to be here and they're having fun. So that's an important element to it.
Kulik and Roseanne, how ready do you feel like they are to try and compete for an NHL job? It seems like both of them have.
Yeah. Perspective, maturity. And I've said this before, but nothing gives you more confidence than going through adversity and not having it break you. And that's what those 2 had last year. They went through it in the first half of last year, being over here, different style of hockey, more physical play, culture shock, language barriers, just all of that. And the growth that they had in that. And they know. I think Rosine had a quote the other day saying last year he might have made some plays and used his skill, but this year he's able to do a lot more things as a hockey player out here. They know now what real hockey is and how much work they've put in to get to the spot. So the answer really is their play in the first 2 games showed that they're knocking on the door and that they're ready. I was curious, were they going to come here and be kids again like they were last year and show flashes, but be kids really? Or are they going to come here and play a man's game? And they showed that in the first 2 games, and I was really proud of them.
For young guys that might struggle here in these first handful of games, what's the key to keeping their heads up and going?
Well, I think that the guys that go through the adversity and struggle, it's that it's supposed to be this way. That's usually what I talk to the guys about in Rochester too when they're struggling. It's supposed to be hard. It's an NHL camp. You're wearing an NHL jersey, and there's other guys trying to win jobs and feed their families. And it's the hard is what makes it special, because if it was easy, there'd be a lot more people doing it. And the hard and the toughness of how difficult it is to be excellent at this level and above is the beauty of it, if you embrace it and you look at it that way. So that's how we always try to get our guys to look at it. Adversity just leads to a ton of growth if you don't quit during the adversity.